Welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video we are going to talk about vacation to Florence, Italy. So before starting this video, like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates. It would take weeks to see Florence. A smaller city's primary tourist attraction would be any of its dozens of churches. The Ponte Vecchio, Michelangelo's David, and Brunelleschi's Dome are just a few of the city's famous landmarks. But even among this impressive assortment of palaces, churches, museums, and landmarks, some stand out. Consider the highlights of Florence as you arrange your days of sightseeing. This helpful list of top attractions and things to do in Florence will help you identify the best locations to visit. Piazza Duomo. Piazza Duomo and its cathedral complex house some of Italy's greatest artistic masterpieces. You'll encounter masterpieces by Ghiberti, Brunelleschi, Donatello, Giotto, and Michelangelo as you tour the baptistry, bell tower, cathedral, and museum. Begin by admiring the intricately inlaid marble exteriors, then step inside to see the stained glass works of art that greet you everywhere. Consider the skip the line, Florence Duomo with Brunelleschi's dome climb trip. If standing in long admission lines isn't your cup of tea. Entrance costs to the Opera del Duomo Museum are included in this 2.5-hour guided trip. The 12th century octagonal baptistry is a work of art from every angle. Its marble front, exquisite mosaic interior, and art collection all earn a high ranking. But Ghiberti's stunning bronze panels for the cathedral doors top them all. These gates of paradise are the most beautiful bronze sculptures ever made. Visit the Museum of the Cathedral's Opera to see some of the baptistry's artifacts. Michelangelo. This terrace above the city is a must-stop for tour buses, and the place from which all those postcard images of the cathedral are taken. During peak tourist season, late afternoon or early evening is the greatest time to enjoy it in quiet, especially after sunset. Although the cathedral's dome offers a 360-degree view of Florence, only this terrace allows you to properly appreciate Brunelleschi's dome's dominance. Other heights cannot provide this panoramic perspective of the city's icons, including the Ponte Vecchio and Palazzo Vecchio. Uffizi Gallery. Few would deny the Uffizi's status as one of the world's best museums. Even if art isn't your main passion, you should see the highlights of the works here. It will help you comprehend how Florence's 14th to 16th century painters transformed Western art, from stilted Byzantine imagery to lifelike individuals and landscapes. The massive riverside construction was another Medici palace, but it was designed to hold governmental offices, scientific research, and part of their growing art collection. The octagonal tribuna was built to house Francesco I de' Medici's finest paintings and treasures. A skip-the-line, Florence Accademia and Uffizi Gallery tour gives you preferential access as well as a guided tour. Piazza della Signoria and Loggia dei Lanzi. Because Etruscan and Roman ruins were discovered beneath its pavement, this vast plaza has been the seat of authority in Florence since the 14th century. It is now a popular tourist and local meeting point. The Neptune Fountain is in the center, with the Palazzo Vecchio on one side. The Loggia dei Lanzi, an outdoor sculpture exhibition, is located against the Uffizi's wall at one end of the piazza. The most famous is Benvenuto Cellini's Perseus with the head of Medusa. It stands in front of the Palazzo Vecchio. Accademia Galleria. The famous Michelangelo sculpture, David, is reproduced all across Florence, but the original is here. An attack on the sculpture put it behind glass, but it still inspires that David isn't the only Michelangelo or the most important work here. The 4 unfinished slaves, intended for a monument in Rome, appear to be being released from the marble in the same gallery. Also unfinished is his Street Matthew for Florence Cathedral. If you don't plan to explore the Uffizi Gallery collections, seek in the other galleries for highlights by 13th, 16th century Florentine artists. Botticelli's Madonna is stunning. With a skip-the-line, Florence Accademia and Uffizi Gallery tour, you may bypass the enormous queues at both of these famous art museums. Tombs of San Lorenzo and Michelangelo. The Medici commissioned Brunelleschi to build the family church and Michelangelo to build the burial chapel for their most distinguished princes. Both painters died before the construction was completed, but Brunelleschi's church was built. Michelangelo's new sacristy chapel was never finished. But he did finish one of the world's greatest marble sculptures. You'll see works by Donatello and Lippi as you tour the church's old sacristy, new sacristy, Prince's Chapel, and Lorenziana Library. Palazzo Vecchio. This fortress-like mansion in the heart of Florence echoes history, art, and power. The powerful Medici family commissioned great artists and architects to design and decorate their offices and apartments. Santa Croce. Santa Croce is both an art-filled church and a mausoleum for some of Florence's greatest personalities. Several Renaissance icons are among its riches. Look for Giotto's significant frescoes in Cappella Bardi and more in Cappella Peruzzi, which inspired Masaccio and Michelangelo. Christ Crucified by Donatello is a masterpiece of Florentine Renaissance humanism. Taddeo Gaddi's best work is in Cappella Baroncelli. But Cimabue's exquisite crucifix is the most famous, influencing the finest artists that followed. In the nave are the tombs of Michelangelo, Galileo, Ghiberti, Rossini, and even Machiavelli. Ponte Vecchio. The Ponte Vecchio is perhaps Florence's most famous landmark, its sweeping arches topped by a jumble of stores one of the city's most beautiful sights. A journey across the bridge reveals a spectacular selection of excellent jewelry. Most tourists are unaware of the gems hidden over their heads. The Medici needed to cross the Arno regularly between their offices in the Palazzo Vecchio and their apartments in the Pitti Palace. So they hired architect Vasari to build the Percorso del Principe, now known as the Corridoio Vasariano, or Vasari Corridor. Its perfectly matched windows rise over the businesses. A rare collection of portraits, largely self-portraits, by artists including Rembrandt, Leonardo da Vinci, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Velázquez line its walls. Pitti Palace. A day in the Pitti Palace complex, and you could spend all day there, gives you a taste of what Florence has to offer: an outstanding art collection, a Medici palace, Florentine craftsmanship, museums, history, royal apartments, and one of Italy's top gardens. If a day isn't in the cards, at the very least take a tour of the palace to see the royal apartments and the sumptuous rooms, where you'll find paintings by Raphael, Titian, Rubens, Tintoretto, and other masters, a collection that rivals the Uffizi hung not in gallery style, but as decoration for rooms designed for entertaining, and show a collection that almost rivals the Uffizi. Santa Maria Novella. The characteristic striped facade of inlaid marble worn by numerous other churches in Florence has been interpreted rather differently here, tracing delicate curved motifs, simulating windows, and emphasizing rows of arches in the lower story. Inside, you'll find some of the city's most beautiful frescoes by masters like Masaccio, Giotto, Domenico Ghirlandaio, Lippi, and Paolo Uccello. As if that weren't enough, a whole chapel is decorated with frescoes by Andrea di Buonaiuto, considered of the greatest works of art from the 14th century. Brunelleschi's marble pulpit, his wooden crucifix, Vasari's Rosary Madonna, and a bronze by Lorenzo Ghiberti are among the frescoes. Stop at the convent's antique pharmacy, where herbal balms and flower lotions are available. San Migniato El Monte. The inlaid green and white marble facade of San Migniato al Monte is worth the short trek past Piazzale Michelangelo, Florence's favorite viewpoint, or you can stay on the bus to ride here. This dramatic effect was first employed in Florence, where it quickly became the most popular facade ornament. This facade, unlike the subsequent ones, rises to a vast gold mosaic. The portico effect is reminiscent of classical Roman architecture, while the mosaics are clearly Byzantine in style, both of which mix into the new Tuscan Romanesque architectural style. The interior features a large open nave with a mosaic floor and painted wooden ceiling that leads to a spectacular Renaissance chapel with a glazed blue and white terracotta ceiling. The elaborate choir screen, further Byzantine-style mosaics, and a 12th-century marble pulpit are also noteworthy. The sacristy is even more impressive. Please don't forget to visit my website to search and book these trips, https://tripsandguides.com. What do you think about this video? Do let us know down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.